Welcome back to another episode of Usapang Insurance. I'm Laarni Tagalog. I'm an independent insurance advisor helping you understand your insurance better. For today's episode, isa na naman pong napaka-interesting na topic ang pag-uusapan natin. Let's talk about inflation. Let's talk about increase in insurance premiums, right? How do we manage that? We all are affected by this concern, like the increasing in living costs in New Zealand, and talagang the budgeting of a household has to be recalculated para ma-accommodate lahat ng mga expenses. And for most of you guys who's got insurance policy in place, of course, you have allocated a budget for that kasi mahalaga yan. But what happens when it gets to the point na talagang okay, masyadong mahal na? Is canceling your insurance policy the wisest option? That's a question I want to talk about. And we also going to talk about explore like other options. If canceling is not the wise option, then what can I do? No, talagang mahirap na. And we get to that point. I totally understand that we get to the point na okay, there's just no more room to pay for the insurance. What do we do? Do we have a choice? Do we have an option of how do we manage that? And that's what I want to address for this episode, because I will just answer it straight away. Canceling your insurance policy just because of the rising cost and cost of living or inflation is not the wisest option, right? Why? Because obviously you've got the inflation here. Inflation is real, as what other people say. Tumataas yan, tumataas. Now, if you have canceled your insurance policy and then something happens, right? The breadwinner in the family or one of the, couple, or ikaw mismo, if you're single, what if you got sick? What if you were diagnosed with a serious medical condition? Nagkasakit, malubhang sakit, you can't work for a few months, worse, you can't work for a year, or even if you can't work for 2 years. Now, ano na mangyayari when the inflation keeps, going? It doesn't stop kasi may sakit ka. Of course, it doesn't happen. Hopefully, yun yung scenario, but hindi talaga, Everything, the bills, the expenses will just keep going. Then on the other side, you're sick, you can't work, and you've got no insurance policy to cover you during that time. And so, it's the most sad scenario that you can imagine because, financially, if we don't have any buffer, if we don't have any insurance coverage, mahirap when we get to the point na we need it, especially financially. Now, let's just say you have savings. Well, it's good if you have savings. But another question that you have to explore is how long can your savings last, Ilang buwan mo-cover, hindi ka makapag-work ng 4 na buwan, mo-cover ba yung savings mo, 1 taon, 2 taon. And another question that you can explore is, are you gonna be happy exhausting all that savings while you are sick? For most of us, we've worked so hard, we have saved up for many years to get to this amount because we have planned this for something. Then nagkasakit ka and you ended up using up all your savings. And that's why I can just straightly say canceling an insurance policy just because of the rising cost of living is not the wisest option. We always want to have a buffer for the worst things that might happen for us, and obviously to cover our loved ones or families, right? And we don't want to have that financial responsibility or burden ng partner natin or your parents if you're single. So we don't want that. We want to have some security in place kasi nga nagmamahal lahat ng mga bilihin, and if you can't work, that will not stop. So you have to have some buffer around that. Now, if canceling your insurance policy is not an option, then what will I do? What can I do to manage the cost? Okay, so there's a few things we can talk about around this topic. First thing is, you can always restructure your cover. Okay, so if you get to the point that, okay, parang masyado talagang mahal, what can I do? So, of course, you just don't decide by yourself. If you have an insurance advisor, then have a conversation with your insurance advisor. Don't be shy to talk about it because that is part of our job, right? We want to help you put the right cover in place within your budget frame. no? Kasi syempre, may dumatating tayo sa point na, okay, we're just out of budget ngayon, and how I want to keep my policy, what can I do? So, approach your insurance advisor if you have one, kasi that's a very good conversation, because that's your job to help you, okay, prioritize your cover based on your current situation, no? And then, you might have to decrease some covers, or, you know, put a suspension in one of your coverage instead of just canceling the whole policy. So, may mga ganun pong options, no? Or, you can also either level your insurance policy. No? So, what is this leveling? Okay, so maliban sa pag-restructure to lower down the cost, you can also consider leveling your premium, insurance premium. So, first is may insurance premium structure na yearly increase. Ito yung nasabi ko na every year it increases based on the consumer price index na nakaset for that year, and then your age and all that. You have an option to level insurance premium. Let's say you can level it for 10 years. So what does it mean? So it's like locking up for that specific premium for 10 years. No? Ang iba pa, they will lock it up for up to age 65, age 70, yung mga ganun. So parang, if you want certainty on how much you're going to pay every year, you can actually level your insurance premium para hindi siya tataas every year. So what's the catch? So why not everyone? Because with leveling your premium, you're going to start paying a little bit higher, but then it will level for 10 years or until you age 65 or 70. But then, parang alam mo na, okay, this is how much I'm gonna pay, this is roughly, you know, in the next 10 years of how much you're gonna pay. So you will have some sort of certainty with the insurance premium that you are going to pay. The yearly increase, kasi it's like every year, no? So it depends on the CPI, as what I said, the consumer price index, your age at that year, and it just keeps on rolling. So those are options. No, those are options that you can consider. Please, I just want to put it out there, kasi don't be discouraged because of the nagmamahal. Of course, nagmamahal po talaga yung insurance kasi nga, insurance companies are paying claims, right? Are paying claims, and then that's what it's there for, para din makapag-claim tayo if kailangan din natin. So, it's part of that. There's a way to manage the cost. You know, it's really important. Like what I said, approach your insurance advisor. It's going to be very helpful to have their input on how you're going to navigate the insurance premium costs. And also, before you make any decisions, have a conversation within your household, have a conversation with your wife and your husband, and look at your finances. You know, is there anything here? And what I always share with my clients is go back to your bank statements in the last month and check where do you spend most, and maybe you could also cut some costs around maybe takeaways, you know, eating outside, or mga ano pa, nung mga kailangan mo, pwede mong ma-cut, no, na mga areas na hindi naman ganoon ka-importante, just to always give room on your insurance. Kasi nga, if the worst comes, may mangyari, if you can't work, nagkasakit, if you need surgery, and you can't have it done straight away, yung mga ganon, no? It's gonna be very hard, and it will automatically affect the household's income or your income if you're single, and it's gonna be very hard financially. So I hope that helps. I'm always welcome to answer all your questions. Please DM or leave down a comment below, or send me a DM or message me on Facebook, and I will be happy to answer your questions. But otherwise, I hope this piece of information is going to be helpful para po protektado tayo while we are working hard here in New Zealand. So have a great weekend ahead, and I'll see you in the next episode.